There was a 9-year stint when I didn't drink any alcohol whatsoever. And before that, I used to be like everybody else. And basically, this 9-year stint, I did drink one night to break that 9-year run of not drinking any alcohol whatsoever. But I quickly stopped drinking again. And I will today, potentially. I haven't had a drink myself now again, for a very long time. Basically, if you were to add up the last 20 years of my life, I might have had the equivalent of one drink per year. And this is where you gotta go, or this is where I thought I had to go, and I know I had to get there, is because I figured out long ago that this place is a human farm. And what they farm is just the same way a bee farmer farms bees. There's honey, that is the product. And, you keep the bees happy. And then you come in with an emergency, right? The smoker. The smoker. This is how you get the bees all confused. And then the bee farmer steals the honey. And this is what goes on with the humans too, is the humans are put in these cities, which are those little white boxes that the bee farmer has. And then the human farmers come in with the smoke, their sort of emergency of the decade or emergency of the year. It gets the bees all confused, and basically the bees, when there's smoke around, they don't defend the hive. And the same with humans, they don't defend themselves very well when there's an emergency. So the TV and the media is kind of like the bee smoker inside the human bee farm. And there's all these fake and fabricated crises, which doesn't allow the human bees to defend themselves. And that's when the human honey farmers come in and steal the honey of the humans, which is our money. And this is what's been going on hardcore over the past 4 years. So it's really important to see this going on. And a lot of people, we're all born with the intelligence, the IQ, and the capability of understanding this very thing that's going on in front of our own eyes. That's very important, that we have to sort of realize it and see it. And we're all born to see it. We're smart enough to see it. But that's a big but. But there's like Starbucks. Where's Starbucks? Yes, Starbucks is right there. There's a whole bunch of these compounds that the human farmers know disturbs the brain of the human bees. Alcohol is a big, big one. But that's not even the most popular one. The most popular, is the most effective for shutting down the ability to see with the eyes people have, is definitely coffee. Coffee is a huge disruptor of brain function. It basically cuts blood flow to the brain by 52% for a very long time. Like, it disturbs brain function for days, if not weeks. Just one cup, and people are having it every single day. Now, how coffee got onto this street corner in every human beehive, it's because if the bee farmer knows that if you don't really retard brain function in the human bees, they'll figure out that they're being farmed. So alcohol is a big one, and coffee's a big one. And that's why I really limit caffeine intake, like really limit it probably to a point where the average person would not understand. No, I don't drink coffee. And if I do, I won't say I don't drink it, but again, if you were to add up my coffee consumption over a year, I might have 5 espressos or 4 espressos in a 365-day period. And it's less and less over time. Now, I'm lucky I didn't drink coffee for most of my life. I only started when I was about 44 years old. And then I thought it was the best drug ever. And I thought it was a real good trade-off for my not drinking. I said, well, this coffee drug seems a lot better. It keeps me excited, keeps me focused, and keeps me in this high state. And it was hard to explain the high state that caffeine put me in. But I've done a lot of drugs, and that caffeine drug is fantastic. But it really retards brain function. Oxygen flow pollutes the brain, and it shuts down a very important part of the brain for seeing the human honey operation. It shuts down what's called the prefrontal cortex, the frontal lobe. And when you're not getting proper blood flow or electrical conductivity to that part of the brain, which is just behind the forehead here, you're going to be farmed. You're going to be taken advantage of. You're going to be manipulated. You're going to be governed really easily. You're going to be controlled. And because of all that, your life is going to be like you're going to live paycheck to paycheck. You're not going to put one foot in front of the other. You're going to have problems with all your relationships, your friends, your romances, because, when you're infused with alcohol and you're infused with caffeine and junk food and wheat and sugar, marijuana, and all these, they popularize these compounds for the human farming operation. They tried to normalize them. And, when I was born, alcohol was everywhere. I would see my dad drinking it. I would see my mom drinking it. It's in the movies. It's in the commercials. It's the Super Bowl. It's full of beer commercials. So as a human on the human honey farm, I was like, wow, this stuff must be good. It's normalized. There can't be anything wrong with it, or they wouldn't have it on every street corner. And the reason it's on every street corner is because it does do something concretely detrimental to the human. It makes them weak, makes their brain not function properly, and weak people are easily governed. So again, think about a lion farm. How many lion farms are there around the world? How much lion meat do you see inside the grocery store? No, you see the chicken, you see the cattle, because these are animals that are easy to bully, easy to boss around, easy to govern, easy to control, and easy to manipulate. And humans aren't actually born like that. They're born very ferocious, but if you can dumb them down with all these compounds, you make the very strong human lion like a very easily farmed lamb. And then, then it's a lion farm, but it's the humans acting and talking and thinking like lambs. This is Jason Christoph signing off. Thanks for listening.